Welcome back to Day Our Survival. You'll notice that we are currently right outside of Belomorsk, and just to the right of Belomorsk is this icebreaker. This is actually another simple quest that we can complete on the way to the main quest of the game. So since the last video, all I've done was gone from up in this area and scavenged a few different cities on the way. I have also scavenged these two cities, Zagazha and Nadvosky. And the reason for that was to find bicycle parts, so then that way at the end of this episode we can put together either a bike or a bike with the cart or a bicycle with the chainsaw. That's the motorized cart. You'll notice over here in this city here of Zagazha, there is a green marker. That shows me that I've left a garage there, and the garage has a lot of fuel that I can use if I need to stop and pick it up. And if we do make the motorized cart, the motorized cart here does require the chainsaw, which I have, but also we're going to need to make sure that we have fuel, so then that way we don't run out. So the options for the bicycle and the bicycle with the cart don't run on fuel, but the motorized cart definitely allows you to carry more items, and you just have to make sure you have gas. But later down the road, once you start to get a motorcycle, you're going to need gas anyway, so it's really up to you. Sometimes too, when I have a motorcycle, I like to even just have a simple bike, so when I set up camp, I can use the bike freely throughout cities and towns to get around without having to use up gas. So anyway, let's get out of that, and we will head into Belomorsk and get this quest started. So Icebreaker of Death now shows up on the left-hand side. I need to get closer to this whopper. It wants us to go to the cabin. What I'm going to do now, though, because it's nighttime. Actually, I guess it's not going to be night for long, so I'm just going to kind of chance it here. We're going to head over to the cabin. Now, the radiation level in this icebreaker is extremely high. And it is dark in here. So we're in the cabin. The first thing I saw after climbing on board was a dead body that had been crushed against the wall. Poor guy. Apparently he climbed out from somewhere above and rolled down the deck, inclined at 45 degrees. I found a diary. The story of this ship probably contains terrible mysteries. I need to inspect the other cabins. Then it tells us in brackets here, pay attention to the items on the floor. So let's go to location and we'll check out the items on the floor and we will pick them up. So there, we have 3 pages of a diary. Fyodor took away all my previous diaries and threw them out. He says no one should know what happened. Now I write my diaries in secret. After all, who will find out and punish us if everyone is dead? We don't have much time left. Keeping a diary calms me a little, like I'm filling these lines with my own life, to leave some part of me here even after I am dead. It has been 5 weeks since the day our lives were destroyed. Yesterday, Fyodor gathered us together and said we must leave. Ramel and I refuse. It makes no sense. Death is inevitable whether we stay on this damn ship or run away. We have run out of water. Ramel asked me to kill him, but I couldn't do it. Then he tried to cut his veins, but the blood was barely pumping. He went mad. He threw himself on his knife, but this didn't end his suffering. He died only a few minutes later. All that time, and still a couple hours after, I was sitting in the corner of the cabin in a torpor, while his blood ran between my shoes on the floor. Then it was as if scales fell from my eyes. I have to get out of here. I have to live. Now it wants us to go to the next room. You notice my radiation level is already at 8. The radiation level here is extremely high. So now we're in the cabin. I found a member of this expedition. He's a dangerous guy. I hope he's not still here. But it would be interesting to find a scuba set. If it's working, I could access the submerged part of the ship. I need to find the grave. So now it wants us to go to the grave site. But we're going to look at the location. We're going to pick this guy up. When these idiots struck the pier, a heavy box fell on Yaroslav's head, killing him instantly. Later, they opened out our door, and Misha went for their new leader, but we stopped him. Too many sailors. We will bury Yaroslav with his scuba set on the coast. I will guide our men to a safe place, and then these bastards will bitterly regret that the infection did not take their lives before I did. So let's pick that up, and we'll make our way now to the grave site. You'll notice my radiation level is already at 17, 18, and it even increases in this little grave area. So we have now got a scuba set. Curiously looking around, I dug at the grave. Sorry, guy, I need to take your scuba set. All the equipment is covered with sand, but I think it will work. Now I have to learn something about Fyodor. Open the cabin on the floor. So what I'm going to do is just kind of come out in this area for right now. I might actually just go straight back to the camp since I already have wood there, I have a hut there, I have my fire there. I doubt the fire is still working. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly cut up some more wood. I'm going to kindle it. I'm going to drop it. I'm just going to rest for a few minutes and let all my levels kind of stabilize themselves here. All right, so now we're ready. So now it wants us to go down into the submerged part of the ship. And now that we have the scuba set, we can do that. Radiation level is already at 4 and I just got here. So what I might do here is use this drug, which increases my radiation resistance, and I'm going to apply it. Now we're in the infirmary. And you'll see there's an infirmary cabin. Careful, it's heavy. To pick up items from this cabin, you need a scuba set. Put on the scuba set, open the door, explore the cabin. There is a photo on this hospital chart. Now I can identify Fyodor or his body. I think I should walk around the ship and look for these sailors. Now it wants to go to the place of massacre. That is off to the shore. And now in the infirmary, there is a lot of drugs here. Do not miss this. You're going to want these guys. So we're going to search. Actually, I think we don't need to search. I think we just need to pick up everything we found there. And then we'll go ahead and continue to where it wants us to go, to the place of massacre. Slowly getting there. All right, so here we are, place of massacre. We got a key to the captain's safe. Alas, it's impossible to identify anyone here. There are only skeletons, but I searched their clothes, whatever was left of it to be more precise, and I found one of them had a key. That skeleton must have belonged to Fyodor. It didn't seem like the key was for a flat. I hope I can open something on the ship with this key. Open the safe on the floor. So now it wants us to go into the ship again. And this time into a different cabin. I'm going to escape that because if I can, I would just rather run away and not risk bleeding or infection. Plus, a mouse is just small hunting. So now we're at the captain's cabin. We will open the captain's safe. Well, finally, I found the diary of this poor guy. Unpleasant story just like any other during the last days of the world. Quest is over. Well, that is it, I guess, for that quest. I would like to quickly go and check a few of the other places here. I don't think we hit up all the cabin rooms on the ship. So just to be thorough, I'm going to go into a few of them here before I head out of the ship. Let's open this one. There's a few things here. I don't really need much of these, but I will take the toolkit. I want to tear these, but to be honest, my radiation level is getting pretty high now. I hope I got time. I'm going to pick up the threads. And I'm actually just going to head right on out of here. All I really came here to do was to complete that quest before we moved on to the main quest of the game. And then actually afterwards, you'll notice once I get to the save point here, to the little cabin campsite, I'll show you that we've actually gotten a little statue for that. All right, now that we're out of there, it's light again. So we're going to go into my location area where I've dropped my heavy stuff. I'm going to build the fire. I am going to get some food to eat here, lower everything down, and I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep so my exhaustion level here can come way, way down. I'm going to probably get it right down to 0. This bar right here, the fatigue bar, you get a lot more rest when you have fire and a hut. It takes less time. So another thing I'm going to do here is show you this. So this is the Icebreaker figurine. This was our reward for completing the Icebreaker of Death quest. The other quests that we're on now are Family Matters. I woke up in a terrible sweat. The nightmare made me remember my family, my wife Galia and my daughter Sasha. I have to find them. We have an apartment in Belomorsk. I have to go there. So if we view this quest on the map, it is all the way on the other side of this gigantic map. So that'll definitely be one of the last quests that we do. The next quest we have here is Searching for Truth. Fuel crisis, hipster activities are triumphant. Seems like their triumph didn't last very long. At least this newspaper gives some clue. If there was a war or an epidemic, the lack of gasoline wouldn't be on the front page. But the interruption of the fuel supply must have been caused by something. I hope the situation in the next town is different. So the next town it wants us to go to is Petrozavodsk, which is right there. So that's not too far. We're going to be making our way down there. And after that one, we will do the Retribution quest. The door opened. Inside, I found skeletons, a lot of supplies, and several interesting papers. It now wants us to go to Moscow. That'll be our second point to get to. Now, you'll notice all these radiation areas here. If you have to go into those areas, either take a drug to help lower the radiation or go in and out. So you go in, once your level gets high, after you're searching for a bit or doing what you need to, you come back out and you rest and you get those levels right back down to 0. Then you go back in again. If you only have a quest there, get in there, get your quest done, and that'll be it. So here right outside of Belomorsk, in my location, I'm going to pick up all my stuff here. You'll see my load's at 123%. I'm going to drop a few things that I definitely do not need to be carrying around with me. And I'm going to go into design now. And I think maybe I will make this motorized cart. Now there is the bicycle with the cart, and the motorized cart. I'm just debating on which one I should do, whether I should have the bicycle with the cart or if I should have the motorized cart. Because again, with the motorized cart, you do need to have fuel. And And sometimes, though, it's nice because later down the road, you're going to get a motorcycle. So if you have a motorcycle and you're going to need fuel for that, there's really no need for fuel for a motorized cart. In that sense, you might as well be carrying around a bicycle with the cart. Then when you park, you make camp, you can go and explore the nearby cities with the bicycle with the cart that doesn't need any gas. So I think that's what I'm going to do in this case. So first we have to create the bicycle. And then we can create the bicycle with the cart. Now once you've made up your mind, you can't really change it to the motorized cart. Because now I don't have a bicycle and I don't have a cart. I have a bicycle with the cart. Much sense as that makes, but whatever. So right now what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to be scavenging this town here in Belomorsk. Oh, it says I'm overloaded. That's because I haven't gone to the bike and I have to hit use. So before I leave there, I'm just going to make sure I don't need anything. I'm going ahead and clear my star that I had below it. And we're going to scavenge Belomorsk. There's a new survival level 5, which allows me more designs. I'm actually going to go back there real quickly. I'm going to create a torch. All I want to do here really is just scavenge for maybe a pharmacy, maybe a cafe, maybe some batteries from the electrical store. Cafes are great for items with caffeine. So we'll pick up those items. Might mark it with my star here. Check out this crater. Looks like there probably could be dirty water in that one. I like to mark the dirty water because I like to know the cities closest by that I can get dirty water. I think this is toxic water. I noticed that craters with really dark areas show to be toxic water. So I usually do star the toxic water, but I think now I'm just going to take it as if it's a dark crater, then that dark crater means there is toxic water and I would just stay away from it. And if I learn otherwise, I will share it with all of you, and I will also make sure to start marking again. Now you notice that when I tore those, it didn't even show up on the screen. That's because I've already tore up so much shit that I have all the levels and it really doesn't even need to show a bar. It's like that boil button when you boil water. Eventually you won't need to, there won't be a bar there. Yeah, the clothing store to me is always a getter. I have one last sewing level that I just want to complete, and then to be honest, I could just start ignoring all these things. But in my mind, until I get perfect on and 100% on that sewing level and allow all the designs of the sewing level, I just can't walk away with the opportunity to freely increase my points. Alright, so that place is also all done. I'm going to come back down here. My levels are going up like crazy right now. Now I am going to search this garage. The reason for searching this garage mainly is because there is a broken bicycle that I can get some bicycle parts from. The bicycle parts are very critical for your wear and tear. As you drive your vehicle, no matter what it is, you will start wearing it out. Well, after you start wearing it out and it reaches certain levels, you should be fixing it. All right, so let's disassemble this, pick up those bike parts. I really don't need anything else right now. Sometimes I like to start disassembling motorcycles and vehicles while they're in front of me, simply because that also increases our levels. So let's just get right out of that. Now what I might do here is, because my levels are extremely high, as you use that, there's only one of them. And then I also want to drop my poisoning level, and it would be nice to drop my radiation level as well here. Now it says radiation minus 25. This is what I mean. My radiation level is 14. So I think I'm just gonna relax for a bit until it gets closer to the 25, and then I can get the full value of that actual drug. Now you'll see all my levels now are like crazy and through the roof. Now this here is probably an electronics store. This is... Okay, usually I escape this. This time I'm going to attack it. The reason I'm going to attack it is because when I win, I get the wolf carcass there. I'm going to go into location. You need to have a knife and you need to have an axe to butcher this guy up. Now you can use these items here to up your levels. I'm really most interested in this meat. Later when you get to cooking, you can make this smoked fatback. Until then, I really just leave fatback alone because when you eat it, your poisoning increases by 5. So I just leave that alone. Now in that electronics store, you'll find either flashlights, alarm clocks, batteries. Once you have an alarm clock and once you have a flashlight, you're only really concerned about getting some batteries here, okay? I think I have an alarm clock, but just in case, I'm going to pick it up and just double check it. And let's hit up this last one here. This last one could either be a clothing shop or a cafe of some sort. Clothing store. Yeah, I think I have enough points that way where I'm just going to come right outside of the town. So the weather is coming in. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to pull up my inventory, my axe. I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to set up camp for a bit. I'm going to get some rest. My exhaustion level is actually past 300. It is insane. So let's go over here. We'll kindle this fire. We're going to drop it. I'm going to go and create the hut that we need. Weather. The rain has stopped, but I've had enough time to get some pure water. So pretty much here, all I'm going to do is boil some of my own water. I'm going to synthesize. This increases your chemistry points. This is a place where I have flopped before. I have been in points before where I did not really increase much of my chemistry, but I would like to do that this time. Also, my blacksmithing here, I would like to start increasing that somewhere down the road, but I haven't had too much need to do that. So now what I'm going to do is just sleep and have a little bit of a rest. And then when I wake, we will continue on through the next video.